Hey guys, welcome back to another gun store vlog here on Marksman TV. Remember, in these videos we just sort of carry the camera around and turn it on when cool, interesting things come in. Show you the type of stuff that we do and the type of guns that we get during the day. Anyway, if that sounds interesting to you, stick around. That's coming up right now. Alright, Andy just got in another gun for himself here. This is a pretty interesting one. A lot of you guys might find pretty cool.
Yeah, this is an HK P30L. It is the firearm that John Wick uses. Basic 9mm, it is hammer fired, night sights. Different from the SK that I'm carrying at the moment. This one does have a decock. But it is single action, double action, or double single. Still has the paddle style magazine release, which I prefer because, well, let's face it, I've got short thumbs. I can't help it. Fully ambidextrous. Does have a flag for the loaded chamber. Of course, nothing for the cocked, because if the hammer's back or not, it's ready to go. 3 different sets of grip scales and back straps. It comes with the medium set installed. I'll be making some changes along those lines. Other than that, 2 magazines. They are 17 rounds apiece. Plenty of firepower.
So we got to call you Andy Wick from now on.
Oh no, 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 no.
So these are actually really tough to find because of the John Wick movie, and Andy was fortunate enough to run across one, so we transferred it in, and here it is.
And actually, I lost 2 auctions before I got to this one. They just went outrageously high.
Yep, you got a pretty good deal on that one.
I did.
Anyway, very cool. Thanks, Andy, for showing us your new gun. Okay, back here we got in a transfer for a customer. This is a really cool one. This is a CZ Model 27. Now, as many of you know, during Germany's occupation of a lot of European countries during World War II, what they would typically do is take over the small arms production, mainly in handguns, and then they would continue manufacture, put their Waffen amps, their German inspector marks, on the sidearms, and then issue them out to ancillary troops and personnel. Now, the Germans were very, very big on sidearms. To them, they were symbols of authority and power, so they made sure to issue as many sidearms as they could to anybody, especially to those people in occupied locations. CZ27 is a very popular one you would see. You would see the FN 1922, the FN High Power from Belgium. You'd see the Radon Viz from Poland. So you could kind of follow the occupational trail of Germany and find all their occupation or captured sidearms. They also took in sidearm production from their allies like the Spanish, the Astra 300 and 400, the Italians, and the model 1934 and 1935 Berettas. So this is just sort of another token of that era. These are not super expensive, usually anywhere from $300 to $600 depending on condition. So customer who got this in is a good customer of ours. There's a lot of surplus collecting, so we're happy to get that in for him. Alright, up next, you guys saw from the last video we have those Carcanos. There's 91 TSs, 24s, and 28s. These are the Cavalry Carbines that also are coming in from PWR. So as you can see, here's a little sample of them. They are in overall really good condition. Now, these would have come in as ancillary, of course, as the name would suggest, cavalry rifles. Horsebacks, a lot smaller, a lot lighter weight, with a integrated bayonet, little pig sticker on there. Of course, as time would go on and the use of horses would become less, they would end up using them as bicycle troop rifles, which is kind of funny if you think about it. But that was, of course, in the sort of the period between mechanized troops and horseback mounted troops. But one interesting thing about these that you'll probably notice is there is 3 separate latching systems on the bayonet. The latest one would have been this, and this is the most common. This is a push style latch. The earliest one would be this, which is a latch that moves down. See if I'll let you focus there. It'll unlatch there, spin around, and then latch back into this groove here. And then between the two is this. So this would be World War I. After they spring issues and stuff like that would allow this to loosen up over time and with use, or get stuck in the open position and the bayonet would flop around. So they moved to an actual mechanical latching system like this, where you had to physically pull it down and move it around, and then on the other side you push it back in and then relatch it. Then, of course, time and resources necessary for machining parts like this, again, also not as easy or straightforward for use. Something like what you see on most other bayonets, which is a push button release. So just a little spring-loaded button like that to move it around and lock in. So if you do get one of these in and you get the earlier style bayonet latch, or kind of the inner, or you want to call it sort of the transitional style, adds a little bit of value to it. There you go. I'm going to let you guys take a look. Condition on these is very good. You're going to have different sort of cartouches and marks. These are all 1947 refurbs. You know, you might find little cracks here and there, a little bit of corrosion and rust, but by and large they're in the condition of the 91s, the 24s, and the 28s that you guys have seen. I'm hoping this means that we're going to see some 38s, which is actually the style that was allegedly used by Oswald to kill Kennedy. And hopefully some long rifles too. 91 long rifles, or the what is it, the 9142s? World War II transitional guns, or repurposed, I should say. Carcanos are really not my forte, but I am having a lot of fun seeing some new surplus come in. So really cool. If you guys get a chance to jump on one, I would. Remember, avoid the IO imports. Go for the PW Arms imports. This is what you're going to get. The IO ones are, I hate to say it, but they're in rough shape, really bad shape, for not really, in my opinion, worth the money. But these are. This is, you know, for about what people are paying for them. If with the shipping, transfer fees, and hand select, if you want that, you're up a little over maybe $300 all in. And honestly, for surplus, it's not bad. These, it's actually kind of funny. I was on Gunbroker bidding on a Cavalry Carbine before I even knew that these were hitting the market, and it got up about to $450 before I stopped bidding on it. Now, it was more original. These are refurbs, and it was also not import marked, which is going to add value, but I'm glad I didn't win, and I'm actually going to order one of these for myself. So really cool guns. Okay, here we just took in a couple from a customer. We traded him a Smith & Wesson Model 66-4, which you guys have not seen yet, but that'll be in our next weekly used gun review. But anyway, this is a Beretta Model 21A 22LR tilting barrel, and this one is in fantastic condition with the wood grips. Beretta little emblems there on the wood grip panels. It's got a magazine release here in the back, extended trigger guard, and of course the top tilt, the barrel tilting feature is pretty interesting. Really good for people with dexterity issues, because you can load up the mag, tilt the barrel open, put in your first round, close it, and as you fire, it'll then cycle from the mag, so no needing to rack the slide. How you doing today?
Good, how are you?
Good. We also got in a Ruger SP101 357, really nice beefy stout gun. I won't go too much into detail on that one, but we'll have these in a future weekly used gun review video. So very cool. It's the type of stuff we kind of get in on a daily basis. All right, here's an interesting one that we did get in. This is what a lot of people would look at and say is a P30A. In fact, it's marked P30A. This is actually a designated P1 by the Bundeswehr. So after World War II, of course, they took the P30A design. They manufactured by Walther and actually Manurin in France would manufacture this, which would stay as the primary sidearm throughout the Cold War, actually up until I believe about the 1990s. And it would have an alloy frame, was one of the biggest differences between this and the standard pre-war or wartime P38s used by Germany in World War II. Also, the grips are a little bit different. Won't go into too much detail because this will be on one of the next weekly used gun review videos, but this is just another sort of iconic, pretty cool little handgun type of thing that we get in. So you guys know me, I love getting surplus and firearms like this. I own several actual World War II P38s. This is obviously just a little bit lighter and would make a good shooter. Import marked by Inner Arms on this one, so just a cool firearm. Also fortunate enough to get a Taurus G3C. So sort of like the next in the line of the G2C, the G3, the little Taurus PT111 lineup. These, of course, the G2Cs have been remarkably popular in about the $250 price point. They are really reliable, accurate. People really enjoy them. Now the G3Cs come with 3 magazines instead of 2, so that's one nice upgrade. Price point on these is going to be about the same, typically around the $230 to $250 mark. Of course, anything is hard to get right now, but especially these, and the G2Cs have been really good sellers in our stores. So I'm lucky to get one of these in as early as I have. I know they have been out on the market now for at least a month or two, so cool to get one in here. If I had a G2C, I would have done a comparison video for you guys, but anyway, this will just have to do until we start getting inventory again, but really cool firearm. Okay, I was just about to wrap up on my final thoughts on this video, and we did have a customer just come in and sell us a Winchester Ranger 20 gauge pump shotgun. So another cool one to get in here to the store, and be looking out for more information on this on the next weekly used gun review. That sort of leads me into a question that I get often, and I like to wrap up these vlogs with a question or a statement or some insight on something. And one of those questions is, how do you get so many used guns in your store? There's a fly flying around my head. We do, as you guys see, the weekly used gun reviews. We get a ton of used inventory, and we're very fortunate that a lot of people in our area trust us with our offers, our pricing, and especially our knowledge on what it is that people have. People come in with something that's rare or unique. We identify that to the customer, we tell them what they have, and because of that, we have many customers who over the year will liquidate a lot of their unwanted or unused firearms to us. So we do stay very fortunate there, and also we resell them at pretty competitive pricing. Back when we did the used guns of the week, I used to actually go back and state all the prices we would sell things for. We would always get a ton of comments about how our prices were very competitive compared to gun stores in their area. Not trying to say we're better, you know, have better pricing than from other gun stores or not, but we just try and stay fair on what we offer, and we try and stay fair on what we sell it for. So that's just how we get a lot of, we're just known in this area for that. Used guns is just a big part of our business. Another thing that lately has been happening is a lot of you guys, viewers on YouTube, have been reaching out to us and contacting us with collections that you guys have been sending pictures, information about, and then, you know, of course, I send back an email with my offer. Now, how we do that, because it's a little bit weird right now, you know, obviously we have a store presence, we have an internet presence here, you guys see us on YouTube, so we can easily stand behind our offers. You guys know, if you send us something, you're not going to be screwed out of your money. We actually, it's a little bit different in terms of the online commerce. We do require people, when we do make a deal on email or anything like that, that those firearms be shipped. We will inspect to make sure that the photos showed accurately the quality of the firearm and the description, and then, after we assess that, we'll send a check for the agreed upon price, rather than sending the money out first, because we don't really know who we're talking to on the other end of the line, if we're going to get the guns or not. So that's just something we do to protect ourselves. We have had, in no cases, had to go back on an offer or anything. Most everybody is very upfront and honest. In fact, we're actually developing a web product that is going to streamline this process even more into the future, because we're noticing we have a pretty good demand for it. So as the YouTube channel has gotten bigger, as we've been in this location now for 6 years and more people know about us, we get more and more and more used firearms. It is a segment of the business that's really exciting to be in. It's like Christmas, every day when somebody comes in with a couple gun cases and they open it up, you always anticipate what it's going to be, and there's always a cool story to go along. A great way to connect with customers and learn about, something like this Winchester was the guy got this when he was a kid, and he's had it for 20 or 30 years. So it's just kind of cool to listen to people talk about that, and that history is sort of inlaid into this gun. So it's just pretty cool. It's cool information. It's just a very, very interesting part of the business to be in. I much prefer that over just ordering, 5 or 10 or 15 more Glocks from a wholesaler, which of course you still need to do when you run a gun store, but it's the used stuff that I find most interesting, and I know you guys find most interesting too, because of the feedback we get on our videos. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up there. If you have any questions, comments, leave those down below. Also, by the way, we are about to hit 70,000 subscribers. Thank you so much for that. If you do watch these videos and you enjoy them, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Help us get over that line. I would appreciate it. I'm gonna leave you off there. I am Chris with Marksman Shooting Sports in Westfield, Indiana. You are watching Marksman TV, and I will see you next time.